In the bustling city of Abuja, Nigeria, there lived a man named Chukwudi. Chukwudi was a hardworking banker, respected by his colleagues and admired by his community. He was married to Nkechi, a beautiful and devoted wife who stood by his side through thick and thin. But behind the facade of happiness, Chukwudi harbored a dark secret. He had been unfaithful to Nkechi, succumbing to the temptations that sometimes crossed his path. Each dalliance left a stain on his conscience, but Chukwudi couldn't seem to resist the thrill of forbidden romance. As the years went by, Chukwudi's guilt weighed heavily upon him. He tried to bury his indiscretions deep within his heart, but they festered like an open wound, poisoning his soul with every passing day. Then, one night, as Chukwudi lay tossing and turning in bed, he felt a strange sensation in his stomach. It was as if something was churning and writhing inside him, causing him immense discomfort. At first, he dismissed it as a bout of indigestion, but the sensation persisted, growing stronger with each passing day. Nkechi noticed the change in her husband's demeanor. He became withdrawn and irritable, snapping at her over the slightest provocation. Concerned, she gently probed him, trying to uncover the source of his distress, but Chukwudi remained tight-lipped, unwilling to divulge the truth. Weeks turned into months, and Chukwudi's condition worsened. His stomach swelled to an unnatural size, resembling that of a woman in the later stages of pregnancy. He could no longer hide his secret, and rumors began to spread throughout the community. People whispered behind Chukwudi's back, speculating about the cause of his swollen belly. Some said it was a curse from the gods, while others believed it was a punishment for his infidelity. But no one knew the truth, except Chukwudi himself. Haunted by his guilt and the physical manifestation of his sins, Chukwudi sought solace in the arms of his lover, Adaora. But even she could offer him no comfort, for she too was horrified by the sight of his bloated stomach. Desperate for answers, Chukwudi turned to traditional healers and modern doctors alike, but none could provide him with a cure. They shook their heads in bewilderment, unable to explain the inexplicable phenomenon that had befallen him. Meanwhile, Nkechi remained by her husband's side, her heart heavy with sorrow and uncertainty. She prayed fervently for his recovery, willing to forgive him for his transgressions if only he would repent and seek redemption. But time was running out for Chukwudi. His health deteriorated rapidly, and he knew that he was running out of options. With each passing day, the weight of his deception grew heavier, threatening to crush him beneath its unbearable burden. As the sun set on another day in Abuja, Chukwudi lay on his bed, his breath shallow and labored. He knew that he had to come clean about his affair with Adaora if he ever hoped to find peace, but the words stuck in his throat, suffocating him with their bitter taste. And so the mystery of Chukwudi's swollen belly remained unsolved, a testament to the consequences of betrayal and the weight of deception. Only time would tell if he would find the courage to confront his demons and seek forgiveness before it was too late. As Chukwudi lay in bed, his mind raced with thoughts of his past indiscretions and the consequences that had befallen him. He couldn't shake the feeling that his swollen belly was a physical manifestation of his guilt, a punishment for betraying the trust of his devoted wife, Nkechi. With a heavy heart, Chukwudi knew that he couldn't keep his secret any longer. He had to come clean about his affair with Adaora and face the consequences of his actions. But the thought filled him with dread, for he feared losing everything he held dear. Meanwhile, Nkechi sat by her husband's side, her eyes brimming with tears as she watched him suffer. She longed to ease his pain, to chase away the demons that tormented him. But she knew that only Chukwudi could free himself from the shackles of his guilt. In the days that followed, Chukwudi wrestled with his conscience, torn between his desire for redemption and his fear of losing Nkechi's love. He knew that confessing his sins would shatter her heart into a million pieces, but he also knew that he could no longer bear the weight of his deception alone. Finally, one evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and cast long shadows across the room, Chukwudi summoned all his courage and spoke the words that had been weighing heavily on his soul. "Nkechi," he began, his voice barely above a whisper, "there's something I need to tell you, something I should have told you a long time ago." Nkechi's heart skipped a beat as she listened to her husband's words. She could sense the anguish in his voice, the pain of a man who had been carrying a burden too heavy to bear. "What is it, Chukwudi?" she asked, her voice trembling with emotion. Chukwudi took a deep breath, steeling himself for the inevitable fallout. He recounted his affair with Adaora, sparing no detail, and laid bare the depth of his betrayal. Nkechi listened in stunned silence, her world crumbling around her with each word that fell from Chukwudi's lips. She felt as though she had been punched in the gut, the air knocked out of her lungs, leaving her gasping for breath. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she struggled to comprehend the magnitude of her husband's betrayal. How could he have done this to her? How could he have thrown away everything they had built together for the fleeting thrill of forbidden love? But amidst the pain and betrayal, a flicker of something resembling hope began to stir within Nkechi's heart. She saw the anguish in Chukwudi's eyes, the remorse etched upon his face, and she realized that perhaps there was still a chance for redemption. With a trembling hand, Nkechi reached out to her husband, offering him forgiveness in spite of the pain he had caused her. She knew that rebuilding their shattered marriage would not be easy, but she was willing to try if it meant finding a way back to the love they had once shared. And so, as the night stretched on and the stars danced in the sky, Chukwudi and Nkechi clung to each other, united by their shared determination to overcome the obstacles that lay ahead. They knew that the road to redemption would be long and difficult, but they also knew that as long as they had each other, they could weather any storm that came their way. But their journey was far from over. As the first rays of dawn broke through the darkness, casting a golden glow upon the world below, Chukwudi and Nkechi knew that they had only just begun to atone for the sins of the past. As the days turned into weeks, Chukwudi and Nkechi embarked on a journey of healing and reconciliation. They attended counseling sessions together, laying bare their deepest fears and insecurities in the hope of rebuilding the trust that had been shattered by Chukwudi's infidelity. Slowly but surely, their bond grew stronger, forged in the crucible of adversity. They learned to communicate openly and honestly, to listen to each other's needs and concerns with empathy and compassion. But while their love for each other remained unwavering, the scars of the past still lingered, casting a shadow over their newfound happiness. Chukwudi struggled with feelings of guilt and shame, haunted by the memory of his betrayal, while Nkechi grappled with doubts and insecurities, wondering if she could ever truly trust her husband again. It was during one of their counseling sessions that they stumbled upon a breakthrough. The counselor encouraged them to explore the root causes of Chukwudi's infidelity, to understand the deeper emotional needs that had driven him into the arms of another woman. Through tearful conversations and soul-searching introspection, Chukwudi began to unravel the tangled web of his emotions. He realized that his affair with Adaora had been a misguided attempt to fill the void left by his own insecurities and inadequacies, a desperate bid for validation and affirmation. With the support of Nkechi and their counselor, Chukwudi confronted his inner demons head-on, learning to love and accept himself for who he truly was. He embraced his flaws and imperfections, recognizing that true happiness could only be found within, not in the fleeting pleasures of the outside world. As the weeks turned into months, Chukwudi and Nkechi emerged from the darkness, stronger and more resilient than ever before. They had weathered the storm together, their love forged in the crucible of adversity, and they knew that they could overcome any obstacle that stood in their way. And so they began to write a new chapter in their lives, filled with hope and promise for the future. They renewed their vows in a simple ceremony surrounded by family and friends, pledging to honor and cherish each other for all eternity. As they stood hand in hand, gazing into each other's eyes with love and gratitude, they knew that their journey was far from over. There would be challenges and setbacks along the way, but they were committed to facing them together, united in their shared determination to build a life filled with love, trust, and mutual respect. The moral of the story is that forgiveness is a powerful force that has the ability to heal even the deepest wounds. By embracing forgiveness and choosing to let go of past hurts and resentments, we can pave the way for a brighter and more hopeful future. True redemption lies not in the absence of mistakes, but in the courage to confront our flaws and shortcomings and to strive for growth and transformation.
You have reached the end of this video. Please consider subscribing to this channel for more African folktales like this.